There now, it's Wednesday, and you know, something's changed. Look at this, there's no van. Oh no, where did it go? Anyway, there's the old seat there. I went and got a set of seats out of a 2014 Jetta and threw them in there. They sit a little bit higher, but they're pretty damn comfortable. And then now I've got, all the doors are over here, and I'm gonna see about finishing up the doors and get them painted and reinstalled on the van. Then, once that's done, I might just take a break from the van for a while and do some work on a hovercraft. We'll see. So, anyhow, what else did I get done? I got the tires changed. Put away the tire changer. Brand new tires on it, 5 of them. There's number 5 is sitting over here. Yeah, right there. And I had to do, what else did I do? I don't remember. I'll figure it out. Tires changed, balanced them, did some work on, I built a new thing to go on the, like where the gear shift is. I had to build a little bit of a thing around there. And then, after all was said and done, I took it for a drive down the road, just down the driveway here, up and around and down to the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. And after it all is said and done, then I got them all pigeonholed into here, or shoehorned into here, including the BMW, which I didn't think I'd have room for, but apparently I do. Here they are. So you can't get around very well. So there's the Porsche, there's the Beamer, the van sits in there, Triumph is at the end of it there, hovercraft over there, and that's another golf cart underneath that canvas there. I'll have to take this over because I'll use it for, you know, putting the door on to keep it steady. And there's a sawmill, which is pending in the pending department also. So anyway, that's it for this video. That's episode 43, and it's a driving machine, and it actually drove very nicely. You'll see if you stick around. So I'll see you all next time. Bye for now. Yeah, here I am back again. So now these things here, right? They go on here, but I think I have to put some grease on this part here and a little bit of grease on that part there. I think I'll just check it out and see how they fit in. When you want to put a battery into it, you have to turn the seat around backwards. Interesting. That's the way that works, I guess. Anyway, I'll see what I can do about getting these things set up and put some grease around there. I've got a bucket full of white grease that I can use on that. Yeah, there we go. So this has got, like, it's let me see what I'm trying to say. Underneath here, I put just a very small spacer in there so that this wasn't jamming onto each other. Now you just press down on that lever there, and then once that lever is turned down, then you can swivel the chair round and round in circles if you want. But you swivel it that way right there, and then you can put your battery in it, and then swivel it around again and it sort of half covers up the battery. That locks into place. And so I just put a small spacer underneath there, not a thick washer, just a little thin washer to, you know, make it so that they turn easily and yet they're, you know, pretty tight down there. So that's it. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, so back to a little bit of welding, which is kind of enjoyable. Anyhow, did I show you? Now these are in, right? And I have to go get a new battery so that it'll sit down lower. That's next, right? But the tower for this is missing. Don't know where it is. Well, I had pieces of it. It's broken. So I figure I'll just make a new one. And then this will be level when you're driving, so that it'll be, well, we hope it's going to be level. We'll just check it out. Hang on. I'll put the level on it and see how close I came to being, level. You never know with me. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty near level. So, level enough for for me. So you can put your coffee on there. Maybe I'll make a little coffee stand on that thing. Anyhow, I'll put the Pernundle stuff on here, or on that side, so I can know what gear it's in, and then just screw it to the floor. And then it's going to be carpeting all in here, so I'll just put carpet around that part. Paint this the same color as this, as the dash, and it'll look pretty good. So all it is 3/4 of a box, and then I cut out a thing for the gear shift to go through, and it's got a little bit of a curved, like this. It's flat down. Whoops, what am I doing? Down here it's flat across here, but it's curved at the top, so it slowly works into a little bit of a curve there. Now I'll weld it up, and that'll be that. Another task done. Because I've been wondering about this thing ever since day one. How will I cover that in? And so there it is. Okay, I'll get it welded up and I'll show you the results. Yeah, there we go. That looks like a bit of a birdhouse, eh? Anyhow, it's welded on the outside and it's welded on the inside. No, you can't really see in there, but I won't play around with. I'll grind a little bit of the tops off the inside, but mostly I wanted to make it so I could get the outside looking smooth. And a little bit of warp there, but I'll take that out with a hammer and a dolly and fix that up. But tomorrow, now it's it's quitting time. So tomorrow I'll come back out and I'll grind this down and make it look good and give it a bit of a paint job. I've got another thing of that brown paint that I used for here, so that'll be okay for doing this. Then we can likely make some sort of a coffee holder on it too. Hey, what the hell, eh? Anyway, there we go. That's it might look okay when it's done. See you. Well, welder going again, eh? See you tomorrow. Yeah, here I am, new day, and I'm gonna finish working on this thing here as I get at it. But while in the morning now, I went and got a proper battery for it that fits underneath. That'll fit in there and underneath this thing here. And down at the auto wreckers, these chairs here are out of a 2014 Jetta. So we'll just see about shoehorning them into here somehow or other. See what happens. Now the seat belts, there's a different story there. I don't know how for sure how the seat belts are going to work, but I guess we'll figure it out. Anyhow, that's where I am right now, and I'll just, for now, I'm going to change the battery, then I'm going to do that thing, then I'm going to see about the chairs. And then the tires might be showing up here later today, plus more clear coat stuff, but I don't have to worry about that right away. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Pretty tight fit. And it comes with this cover here so that you can, this won't bounce up and hit the seat and get into trouble. Even there's a warning on it that says it has to be used. But all the wires go in there, and then it's pretty tight fit when it's in there. There must have been originally some sort of a hold down system, but I don't know what it is. I'll figure out something as I go along. I might put I might have to just put I'll put a cover over that. I'll make a little wooden cover, I think. Not wood, but some sort of a cover, and I'll cover that over because it looks like it was at some time in the past it was covered. And that would likely be a safe thing to do. Anyhow, that's coming down the road anyhow. Now, next is, where am I? Back to cleaning up the welding on here. Then I'll paint that up, and I'm going to make it the same color as the dashboard. Now the seats are gray-ish. The carpeting is going to be gray-ish. Maybe about that color there for the carpeting. That goes not bad with the red. And the seats are like blue-gray, so they'll fit in all right. The original seats are like that, which are really ugly. These seats here might be a little bit more comfortable because they're a little bit more modern, like that one there is pretty flat. this one here might hold you in. I know that I'll be doing all sorts of high-speed cornering with this van, so you got to be prepared. Anyway, I'll just see what I can do about getting everything put together. Yeah, so there's the thing done, and that's in low gear now, so when it's in park, it's right up like that, okay? So that's, I don't know if I can move it up a bit more. No, it's about as far as I want it to go right there. So now, in the future, now I don't know what I'm going to do with it for looks in the future, but actually it looks all right there now. I'll paint it this color here for now, and later on down the road, I may put a wood top on it, just glue a wood top to it so it looks, you know, cool. Drill a couple of holes in it for coffee holders and stuff like that. We'll see what I come up with. Right now, I'm happy with it. Yeah, there. Installed. I'm going to take it out now and paint it, but I wanted to drill the screws into it before. I just put 2 on this side, 2 screws and 2 screws on the other side, and it's plenty solid. Comes right down to first gear. That's drive right there. Doesn't touch anything, so it won't rattle. Doesn't touch anywhere, so it won't rattle. That'll be good. And it looks decent. That covers up all that stuff in there, and it's easy now to get to it too. There you go. Yeah, so everything happens at once. So this stuff here, here's the chairs, right? They're about 1 inch wider than the original ones across the bottom here. So I think I'll leave them run on these rails because they seem to be right for the product. And I'll see if I can install it onto up there somehow. Now, meantime, everything happening at once. This thing here, I painted it up, and that'll look all right in there. I'll give it another coat, and then might even give it a clear coat. Look at that. There's a black line there from a magic marker. Comes right through. Yep, I need another coat on that, or I might have to just sand that off and get the black line out of there. I forgot about magic marker stuff. Oh well, we'll see what I can come up with. And then at the same time, everything else shows up. These things here, tires show up. So I'm going to get them on the wheels and see about getting them onto the car, and that'll get that stuff all out of the way. And I'll see what I can do. I'll get at it here and show you how I make out. Yeah, here it is. I've tested one tire. I got it on okay. Took a little bit more different than what I thought it would be, but I'll show you how I do it in the next one. One pretty clean rim. Lots of banging and smashing when you change tires. So soapy water is your friend, eh? Soapy water is your best friend when you're doing changing tires. And don't be cheap with it. So you get the tire. You give it the soapy water treatment too. That's enough of that. So it just goes on, and you just sort of jam it on a little bit with that. Then take this thing here. I gotta clean it. I gotta clean it off a bit because I got some dirt on it. You put this on and then just use this as a tire iron and get it into get it down on there. Without bashing your teeth out, right? Careful not to bash your teeth out, that would be bad. There's one half on, right? Then the same thing for the other half. There is, like, it's got a thing where you can go around and around in circles with it, but it doesn't seem to work very well, so I don't know if this works pretty well. Like, it's got this thing on here that you can catch it with, but it doesn't seem to work very well, so now this will do. So I just use this bit. Once you get a couple of them on there, it just sort of goes on pretty easy. Well, famous last words, eh? Be very careful not to bash yourself in the head with this thing, because it's just the right size. Just the right size to get you. Don't try to take too much at once because it won't go. I think you can get some like tire irons to do this with too if you wanted to, but it seems to work all right. There, tire number 2 on. Now, in here in the new valve, like there's the valve, right? And then got the little valve tool. You got to take that valve out of there because it doesn't allow enough air to flow past to be able to get it to seat. I just pull the valve out. Put it over here for a minute. Then I've got my thing here, which allows lots of air out. So then it's a matter of tricking it to think it's on the bead, right? And there. That was easier than the last one. You gotta wait for it to pop over there. Oh, there it popped. That's about 40 pounds. I think that's seated. Yeah, looks like it's seated. Then you just pull that off and put in the get this ready to go. Pull that off of there and put that back in there. Then put the correct amount of pressure into it. Right now it's got about 20 pounds. And I'll run them at 35 just for starters. So the last one wasn't as easy as this one. This one here just went on, right? I think the last one I had to learn how to do it. Then you take a little bit of your soapy water, right? Just put it around the rim here, just see if there are any leaks at the rim. Or any leaks at the valve. Nope, nothing. valve cap back on. And I'll unhook it here and I'll check the other side too. Another 2 or 3 tires, I'll be a pro. Oh yeah. Alright, everything goes. A little bit of soapy water here. And that looks like it's non-leaking. So that's 2 of them on. I'll show you what happens when I go to balance them now. Yeah, there you are. 3 tires on. Where are they? These 3. And then it's quitting time, so I'll do those 2 tomorrow and balance them up tomorrow. So that's all for today. And this box here came too, and that's got more clear coat in it. Another couple of gallons of that clear coat stuff. So I think I will do more clear coating on the car. Like I did some, I tried again up on the front here. I don't know if I showed you this, but I tried, sanding this and polishing it. And it sands down all right, nice, pretty smooth, but still it's got lots of orange peel in it that's left over. I'm pretty sure that the clear coat will fill that in and make it look good because it did down here. So that was just from overspray and stuff, right? But I do have to do a bunch of, like I'll have to sand all these panels that are orange peeled and then tape off the rest of the car. But I'll wait, like I said, I'll wait till I get the doors done. And once the doors are done and on the car, then it's easier to tape off stuff. Okay, there you go. Yeah, sometimes things don't work out. So that's the clear coat. I've put on a base coat of that brown paint and then a clear coat on top of it. And the clear coat obviously doesn't like the brown paint because it's reacting pretty bad to it. So what I'll do is I'll get all the paint off of this and then I'll paint it brown again. Likely the original coat wasn't all dry, or it's overnight, so it should have been dry. Oh well, maybe it was too late. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I won't try clear coating it again. That's the way that is. Yeah, there I cleaned it all off again, and I'll give it another go with the paint. I don't know if I should put I've got some, what do you call that stuff? It's undercoat there, primer. I'll put a load of primer on it first because it seems to be, then I'll put on the brown, and then I won't do a clear on it. See how things work out. Yeah, there, so I put primer on it, but got a couple of runs in it already. I'll just see how that looks later. Anyhow, we'll just see how it comes out. Yeah, there's all 5 wheels done. Now I'll get them balanced up, I hope. See what happens. And then I took away the tire changing machine and put it away until I need it again. So it's over there, hanging on the wall. And this thing here can just stay on the floor here, and I'll trip over it and curse the odd time, but mostly it'll be, I'm aware of it, so it's okay. Okay, now I'll figure out how to do the tire balancing. So that's next on the list, right? Yeah, so here's the balance machine. Now this pole goes up in the middle there, and it's got a pointy thing on it that sticks right in the middle of this. Now the trick is to make sure that I don't know, can you see that bubble? That bubble's got to be right in the middle of all that stuff. So I've got to screw that in, that one screw over on this side, and screw it in a tiny bit to bring that bubble to the middle. I'll get that done and I'll show you. Yeah, there, it's right in the center now, if you can tell. Now I've spent my whole life working around bubbles because of the surveyor. so leveling is not a big problem for me. But whatever way to chase it around, when you're chasing those bubbles around, whatever screw it's closest to, you just screw it in. Or if you can't screw it in anymore, then you screw the other two out. So anyway, now I'll put the tire on and see what happens here. Hang on, I'll set you up and we'll see what's going on. There's kind of where it is, right? And you tear it. Oh, they're heavier now. Take tire number 1, put it on. And then it's got to sort of center itself on that cone. It needs a tiny bit of weight right here. So then I've got some weights here. Wait for the weight. Hey. Yeah, there now. I put an ounce of it here and an ounce on the other side, and it seems to be right in the middle there now. So I'm going to take that as being right. We'll just see how it works out. In the meantime, my timer went off and I put another coat of paint on there, but I got runs all over the place, so I'll have to let it dry a bit and then I'll sand off those runs. Don't know how I got the runs. Yesterday I had it all done nicely with no runs. Oh well. Too heavy a coat. Yeah, now I've come up with a method that I think is a little bit more precise. I've got my laser level sitting on here and pointing at the same place all the time. So then you see that line from the laser level there, so that's with this weight over here, right? So if I take that weight off there, laser level comes up to here. Now if I spin the tire around, to where I had those weights, it's down to there. So I want to bring it up. So if I had these weights back on here, right? Oops. Oops. This thing just sometimes doesn't cooperate. Then that brings that line back down to top of that ridge there. And I just set the I set that up at an arbitrary height. It doesn't really matter what height it's at, as long as this is the same height all the way around. That looks like it's pretty well level. Now the other way to check it is right on the rim with a micrometer, but then you got to move the level up higher so that you can come down and just measure to the rim. So perhaps I'll do that, because that's kind of interesting. Anyhow, I'll show you when I get it there. Yeah, there now. That's where am I? Back and forth, back and forth. So going from balancing wheels to painting stuff. So now that's one coat on there, and there's a couple of little runs in there, but I'm going to live with them because I think that'll be covered with a carpet later on. I'll bring carpet up to about halfway on it or something. And otherwise it looks pretty good. So I'll put another coat of brown paint on there, let it dry, and then that'll be that for that. Yeah, I sort of figured out a method here. I've got my laser level set there, and then I've got my micrometer thing here, right? So I just very gently touch the micrometer. This is the thing that holds the whatever you call that, holds the hubcap on. So I just gently touch it there, and it comes to the middle of those two screws right there. Over on this one here, gently touch it there, just tight, lightly above it, and this one here is right on the middle. And that's with 4 ounces right there. Now if I take those ounces off of there, right, and then just give the wheel a little wobble and let it come back down to natural, then this one here is at the bottom, right? This one here is at the top, and this one here is way high. So it needs weight somewhere about there. So I put on 2 ounces, whoops, 2 ounces, let it settle out. This one here comes just below the screws, this one here comes above the screws, this one here comes way above the screws. So it needs more weight there. Another 2 ounces, whoops. This one here is right on the screws. This one here is high. This one here is right on the screws. So it needs maybe around this way a bit, right? Lots of jimmying around. That one's way too high, so there's too much weight there. So that's too heavy over there. So maybe it needs less weight, which we can do. That's still high there. This one's, you know, close to the right spot. This one's high. So it does need more weight. So there's 2 ounces and 3/4 of an ounce. And that's just below the screws, and above and above. So it needs more weight here. I think about here somewhere, really. Puts it right on the screws there, above the screws there, and above the screw, just at the screws there. So a little bit more weight around this way. Trying to get the weight to the right spot, eh? A little below the screws, way above the screws, at the screws. So there's too much weight over there. I gotta bring it this way some. At the screws, above the screws, and at the screws. So it might need to spread the weight around. Maybe it needs it over like that, eh? At the screws, way above the screws. So that's the wrong way. Try it like that. At the screws, just on the high side, way high still. At the screws, a little bit above. So I think that's pretty close to right. I'll jimmy with it a bit more and then I'll show you how I get it done. So finally got it about right, I think. Hang on, I got you pointing all over the place here. Okay, now that one there is on the screws. That one there is on the screws. That one there is on the screws. So that's about where it should be. So there should be 2 ounces here and 2 ounces there, which I'll split up. I'll put an ounce on this side and an ounce on the other side. So hang on, I'll show you. Yeah, so there's 2 ounces on the inside, right? And 2 ounces on the outside. 4 ounces altogether, which is quite a bit, but who knows, eh? Now I'll put it back up on the balancing thing and I'll show you the results there. There, now I've laid it back on here, and there's the balancing clips, right? And then this is where the license plate or the hubcap clips on right here. So there, that's on the screws, that's on the screws, and that one's on the screws too. So that's pretty close. So that one there is a little bit high, or a little bit low, or whatever direction you want to call it. Yeah, that side's a bit lower than the other two, but 3 points on a circle make pretty level stuff. So I'm happy with that as being a balanced tire. Now I'll go back to the first one I did and check that this way. So now I won't take those ounces off there, but there's 2 ounces there, and it needs to be another 2 ounces over here. So I'll put those 2 ounces on and I'll just show you why. So on the same deal, right on the same, on the screws, whoops, on the screws, or just, you know, at the edge of the screws, and on the screws, with the 2 ounces sitting there. So I'm happy with that calculation. I'm happier than it was before, because I wasn't quite 100, like I wasn't 100% a believer before with that little tiny bubble, and the bubble seems to be hard to calibrate and hard to actually see where it is. If it had a more accurate, a better bubble in there, it'd be all right. And I could likely put a better bubble in there, but I'm happy with what I'm doing now. And I've marked on the wall where the laser level has to sit to get that position right there. And that's pretty good. Okay, so I'll just carry on. Yeah, so there, now this one here has got 3/4 of an ounce here, 1 ounce there, and I'll split them from side to side so that they're on both sides of the wheel. Yeah, I'm getting quicker at it. So there, this one here, 1/2 ounce on each side, that one 1/4 ounce on each side. So, and then it's balanced up. I'll show you the same old thing, right? I wonder if I moved that, right? No, it don't matter. So that one there is pretty well at the screws, just at the top of the screws, just at the top of the screws. So they're all equal, which is good by me. Yeah, so there's tire number 5, and it needed 1 ounce on each, 2 ounces here on this side here, so that's done. So all those tires are balanced to the best of my ability. I think they're pretty good, likely as good as they get at the tire shop. And I'll drop the car down a little ways and then put them on. See how it looks with wheels on it, right? Then I can put that, maybe I'll get that installed, or I'll go after the chairs. We'll figure it out. Well, there's something we haven't seen for a while. It's got wheels on it. Hey, how do you like that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. I haven't torqued them down yet, but they're on there. They're on tight. They can drive around, but have to retorque them after a while. Now, what's next? Next on my list, I think, is making one of those chairs fit in there so that I can drive it. Okay, that's the next on the list. Yeah, so there it's sitting on the ground. Haven't seen that happen in quite a while either. And it looks like all the springs are holding properly. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So in theory you could drive it out of here, I think. So what I'll do now is I'll work up a seat. Now I may have been premature putting those black things on there because I think it'll be easier to take them off, take one off and fit the seat to it than to do it while it's on the car. But I'll just give it a start here anyhow. Yeah, so it looks like that'll fit in there okay. It's kind of hanging out right now, but once I get it sorted out, there's a couple of this is a fitting thing for the car, the Jetta, and then back here there's another fitting thing for the Jetta. I don't know if you can see that down there. And it's hitting up against stuff, but otherwise I think I just have to build a couple of tabs on the like I'll show you on this one over here. So I have to weld a tab out here like this, weld a tab out here like that, same at the 4 corners, and then it'll fit right on there. It'll just slide right on. Then if I ever want to remove them, and they can remove, and the original seats can go back in. So that'll be all right. And the funny thing, they're adjustable back and forth and up and down too. So you can get up as high as you want with the damn things. Like you press this button here, and well, I'll show you. You know how these seats work when they do this sort of thing to them? There. It goes up and it gives you that much more clearance underneath there. So anyway, that's I'll see what I can do about building a couple of tabs and make it work. I've got some good steel here for that. So that'll be what I use. Yeah. So here I am. So right here, one bolt will be right about here somewhere. Another bolt will be right about here somewhere. Right about there. So I have to make a tab that goes out, like I'll make a 2-inch square and put it on there. Then I'll round them out after I get it all done. I'll round them out a bit so they look nice. But I want to make sure that they're going to be the right distance. I just have to check the measurement across here. From here to here, it's got to be, what is it? 18 13/16 of an inch to the center of the hole. So it's got to go past that with the tab. So let me just check on that. Yeah, there I made a bunch of these little tabs, and there's the base material there. So one of them's right here, one's right here, and I have to cut out that little bit of stuff there, and that little bit of stuff there, and then weld it on top. So I'll get it welded up and show you what it looks like. Yeah. So here's that's that cross there, that cross there, that cross there, that cross there, where the holes go now to mount that other seat. And that thing there is plenty solid. It's welded here, everywhere. Welded up. Better check here. Yep, welded up. So that's more than solid. So now I have to drill these holes. I'll just drill a guide hole. And I measured them, like here's the center here. I measured from the center up to here and the center down to there to get that line. And then I measured from the center here to here and there to there. And then I checked the measurement across to see if the total was right. And don't you know it was. So that should be centered properly, and we'll hope it all works. Yeah, there now. That's the passenger side. That's just a test fit here. Seems to fit. So now tomorrow, I'm done today. And tomorrow I'll see if I can get it onto there. And then I'll see if I can do the driver's side. I wanted to do the passenger side first. I don't know why, because I think it's a bit easier. There's no steering wheel in the way. So anyway, I'll just, that's a success there. How do you like that? And it's good and solid, I'm sure. Like that's not going to go anywhere. So there you go. This is the contraption for the airbag and stuff like that. So I think I better just pull the electricity out of that and throw that away. But there is electricity here for the seat belt, which I hope will fit. If it doesn't fit, we'll see what I can come up with. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, so here I am, I'm back at it again, right? And so I took it off the bottom of the seat there on the test fit. I'm going to put it on here, but I wanted to round out the corners and paint them up so they look decent. So that's ready to go. I'll stick that in, let it dry for a while I get the driver's side out and start welding on that. Weld it. Whoops, there we are. Try again here. There. That's that side welded on there. And that side welded on. I have to do that side and that side there. Have 2 more tabs to go. Then this time I'll drill the holes in them before I weld the back, because last time I was drilling through weld and that's difficult. Okay. Yeah, so there's a driver's side built. I've got, I just took the measurements off the first one, and it was pretty simple to do it on here because there's no hard measurements to make. So anyhow, I think the hole's in the right spot. Well, they better be. And I'll see now. I'll just put this over and let it dry, and then I'll see if I can get the passenger seat mounted on there and see if all this work is to the good. Whoops. There you go. That's a fairly modern component. Wait a sec till I get you pointed right now. show you all how it works. How's that? That's pretty good. So there's anyhow, you can press. Can you see me here? Yeah, you can press on this side here, and it goes up and down. Then this thing here is for adjusting the. It'll go back a good ways, so you can have a nap in there. Then when you go camping, you can. Where's the button down here? There it is. And then turn it around that way or that way. Then I imagine you can like lean it into the window. Or if you want to look out the door, you can sit around and look out the door. So that's pretty cool. Then it locks into, that's where it locks into for driving. Then it also like back and forth. Cool. So there, that'll be one VWcamper seat installed. I'll see about number 2. Yeah, there now, that's seat number 2 in there, or driver's seat now. And solid. So then, it takes a bit of a climb to get into it. And when you're in, you're way back here, right? So you gotta, when you want to drive, you gotta get quite a ways forward. And it's a little bit higher than the original seat. So you're real close to the steering wheel here, but actually once you get into it, it's pretty comfortable. You can, once you get it yourself adjusted, you can reach the brake and the pedals, the brake and the gas with no trouble. Reach the gear shift, I don't know if you can see that right there, the gear shift, no trouble. So right on. Away we go, right? So in theory, I should be able to start it up and drive it out of here, which is what I want to do. Maybe we'll go for a little drive around the neighborhood, eh? See how it handles out on the big highway. So did I show you? I did put in that gear shift cover thing, and all the seats are in, so it's pretty good. Back to. So the seats sit up a bit higher than the original seats. I have to clean that up a bit there. I think it used to be some sort of a, oh, that would have been the center console would have covered that, eh? Yeah, the center console would have covered all that stuff in there. I'll think about that. I'll build something for that, I guess. Don't know what, but I'll build something for that. And then I'll see that once you get the seat down as low as it'll go, then it's not too bad. In fact, well, way better than the originals, I think. And I'll have to just do some cleaning on that, but that's okay. And this one here has lumbar support. Whoa. Which is, pretty fancy stuff. And that seat there looks like it's hardly ever sat in. So, there we go. I might just start it up and drive it out of here, and then I can get the doors in here and start on that. We'll just see. Okay. Yeah, so anyhow, I'll see if it'll start now. I'll hop in here and see what's going on. Wait a minute till I get the camera set up. Somewhere right about there is good, eh? Right about there. And we'll see what happens here. Oh. There we are. Okay, now bring the seat forward. Pretty comfortable spot. Around there somewhere. Likes to be in neutral to start. I think it's running. Give it a minute because it's got a fuel. No fuel gauge yet. There, it's running. I'll let it warm up for a minute here. Reverse, see what happens. Oh, that stopped it. Now what's going on? Seems to like to have the brake put on when you're starting it. I just have to take it forward a bit. Get over that hump. What a big beast. That's forward. Holy shit. And it goes when it goes. Here we go. See if I can get up the driveway. Oops, sorry. Not paying much attention to where the camera's going. I'm just paying attention to where the car's going. You want to ride home? Hop in, I'll give you a ride. John's going to come for the inaugural drive.
Wow, you're going to get mud everywhere.
Don't worry about it, I'll clean it up later. A little bit of a climb to get into the damn thing.
These nice seats, though.
Yeah, they're nice.
Are these the original seats?
No, they're out of a 2014 Jetta.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we are going down the trail.
Picked up a hitchhiker.
Picked up a
Like the old
hitchhiker.
days.
Yeah, just like the old days, like a hippie van. Yeah, it seems to be running. There, that seems to be all right.
Wait till it misses
Bring her out. We'll take her for a spin. I'll just take a look around it here. There's what it looks like on the outside. Not spitting any fluid underneath there yet. That's a good sign. And it pulled right out of the driveway, but it's got lots of power when you hit it. There you go. Up and down the driveway a couple of times and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so there it is in the light of day. Now, what I think I'm going to do, seems to be running pretty nice. And nothing's dripping out the bottom, so that's a good sign. The steer's very nice, and the brakes are a little bit soft, so I've got to do some bleeding, I think, on them. And adjusting on the back. But for the most part, boy, it's alright. And the horn works. And the heater fan works, and the seats are comfortable. So there. How do you like that, eh? So now the trick is going to be to bring over all the... Oh, I'll shut this off now for a bit. There. Now the trick will be to bring over all the parts for the doors and things. I'll bring them in here. Maybe I better shut off that heater. I've been heating the outdoors. Hang on. Excuse me for a minute while I shut off the heater. Nothing like heating outdoors. There we go. So I'll bring all the doors over, and then I want to lift that big box out of the way, and I'll see where I can squeeze the Volkswagen in here. I could likely squeeze it right in that spot there and bring that cart over here. So maybe I'll do that. Or maybe I'll just bring out the Beamer for a little while and let it sit outside for a bit, because it's weatherproof. It's all. It wouldn't hurt it to sit out here for a couple of weeks. Then I'll think about it, and then I'll just slide the Volkswagen into there. So there. Because I got to move the Beamer anyhow to be able to get the other doors out. Okay, that'll be that. Yeah, so there we go. Got the everything shoehorned in here. I don't know how I'm going to get the door closed, but I'll work on that. It'll go down, just a matter of getting my body through there. So the Porsche is back there. I can get down that side towards it. Volkswagen's right here. That golf cart's there. The, what do you call this thing? The hovercraft is there. And the Beamer fits in with just inches to spare. It's right up against the Porsche, and the Porsche is right up against the golf cart, and the golf cart's up against the wall. So that'd be 30 feet there, eh? Or 40 feet. That's 40 feet from here to the other end of vehicles. So the Volkswagen rolled in there nice and easy, and it really does drive nice. So that'll be it for today, and I think that's it for this video. We'll cut it off here and you know, carry on next week fixing doors. Okay, see you now. All right, well, now where am I? Here it is, March 23rd, 2023, and the snow has, like up the trail there's clear along the edge of the trail, and out in the woods, I don't know, can you see that? Yeah, there's clear in the woods. Snow is slowly disappearing. You can hear it crunch underneath my feet, because overnight it gets down below zero, but in the daytime the sun warms up pretty good, and we get some nice weather. Yeah, and here's the beach for March 23rd. Still ice on the ponds, right? Lots of ice on the ponds. And tide is kind of just about in or just about going out, so one of the two. So there you have it. That's the Buster report for March 23rd. See you later.